the camera at any moment. Continuously, the camera should remain on, and you have to keep your mic also on. Okay, now what has to be done? Total 5 questions will be asked. Each question will be carrying 2 marks. And from your plant reproduction, I'll ask one question. From your human reproduction, I will be asking one question. From your reproductive health, one question will be there. And from your principles of inheritance, 2 questions will be asked. Okay, so now what you will be doing? It has to be remembered, children, very quick response. Consider it as a rapid fire. Now 4 students will switch on the camera. One will be Alima, Astha, Aditya and Anjali. So first 4 children, Alima, Astha, Aditya and Anjali, switch on your camera. So this information was passed beforehand only, that you'll have to keep your camera on. So I said that you should be in a proper uniform. Okay, Alima is also ready. Now see what has to be done. I will be asking one question. If the student, now first Alima has to answer. The question will be put up to you. And if you do not answer, then question can be taken up quickly by Aditya. No, Astha. Okay, so it will go in same order. First Alima, then Astha, Aditya, and then Anjali. Is it clear? So one question goes to Alima. If you answer, fine, you will get marks. Okay, then second question will go to you. You answer, fine. If you have not answered, then it will be quickly picked up by Astha. Astha quickly answer it, you will get the marks. Okay, then the second question will go. So that way it will be continuing. And it has to be very quick, children. It will be a rapid fire. So do not, but it will be descriptive also. You'll have to describe it also if the question is like that. But you will not waste your time in any at any cost. Okay, so now I am starting quickly. Alima, from your plant reproduction, tell me some characteristic features of the anemophilous flowers. And what do you mean by anemophilous flowers?
Ma'am, anemophilous flowers are the flowers which are pollinated by wind.
Okay.
And they should be non-sticky, they should be light in weight so that they can be transported easily. And
So they means what?
ma'am, the pollens,
Pollen grains. Okay. Okay.
they should be non-sticky and light in weight. Um, and the stigma of the plant should be feathery so that the pollen grains can stick to them. And it should have open anthers so that they can be transported easily by the wind.
Okay. Any other? Okay. Now the next question from your human reproduction. Tell me, what are the functions of the placenta, and what is placenta?
Ma'am, placenta, it is the tissue between the which joins the mother and uh, and the embryo. It is the functional unit, and it transports oxygen and nutrients to the or food to the embryo, and removes the waste and carbon dioxide from the embryo.
Okay. Can you describe its structure a little bit? Structure of placenta.
Uh, Structure.
Yeah.
How is it formed?
No. Just the structure of placenta. What it looks like. What is the shape of it? What is the structure?
Ma'am, I don't know.
Okay. So endocrine function also you have to tell of the
Uh,
placenta.
Placenta, it releases 5 hormones.
Huh?
They are human chorionic gonadotrophin, human placental lactogen, and uh, estrogen, progesterone, and relaxin. And
Okay,
they
correct. Okay. Now the next, tell me what is the meaning of art?
art is the assisted reproductive technologies when the
Name
infertility
them.
they are if that is gamete in with gamete intrafallopian transfer, IVF ET, in vitro fallopian embryo transfer, and ICSI, uh,
What is IVF?
ma'am, in vitro fertilization embryo development, and ICSI is the cytoplasmic sperm injection, and ZIF, that is zygote intrafallopian transfer, and IUT, uh, intrauterine transfer.
Acha. Now tell me when these techniques are followed or used
When the couples are not able to produce child during infertility.
during infertility. Okay. So can you tell me some common reasons for the infertility?
Uh, Maybe the sperm counts of the male is less, or there is some problem, uh, and there is some internal problem in internal fertilization of female.
Okay. Now next question. What is the difference between test cross and back cross?
Back test cross is a type of back cross, as test cross is the cross done between F1 plant and recessive plant, and back cross is the cross done between the F1 plant and any of the parental type.
Acha. So what is the significance of the test cross?
Test cross is used to determine if the F1 plant is heterozygous or homozygous.
Okay, very good. Okay, now next question. Can you name some genetic disorders?
Genetic disorders, they are Down syndrome, uh, Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, color blindness. Uh,
So they are all genetic disorders. The Klinefelter's Down syndrome and your color blindness. What is the difference between them?
no, there are two types of genetic disorders. One is Mendelian disorders, and another one is the chromosomal disorders. The
Huh.
Down syndromes, Klinefelter syndromes are the chromosomal disorders, and color blindness, hemophilia are the Mendelian disorders.
Acha, okay. Why they are called Mendelian disorders?
Because in this mutation of one gene takes place,
Okay.
and they follow all the Mendelian laws.
Ah, very good, very good. They will be, that is inheritance pattern, will be same as the Mendel's. Okay, very good. So your test is done. Now second Astha. So you are free now. Astha.
Yes, ma'am.
Aditya is not switching on the camera. What happened? So Astha, now first question goes to you from your plant reproduction. Tell me what are the steps involved in the formation of the embryo,
Oh,
zygote embryo.
okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the steps I need to tell. Okay, ma'am.
हाँ
Ma'am,
हाँ
ma'am, the first of all, the zygote dissociates into two cells. The first is called embryo cell, and the two cells are, first is embryo and the second is suspensor cell. Then the suspensor cell just grows in size, but it does not differentiates further, or it does not divides further. Now the embryo cell starts dividing. So first of all, it starts dividing in linear tetrad. um, and so after the formation of 6 to 8 cells, it is we start calling it as the globular stage. Further, the ma'am, it forms the linear tetrad. Then the terminal cell further divides, and it reaches the globular stage. Then the embryo is suspended through the suspensor. The suspensor then pushes the embryo into the endosperm for its nutrition, and further the upper part of the embryo is radical, which forms the roots, and the lower part is the plumule, which forms the shoot, and two radicals are also two cotyledons are also formed.
Okay. Now tell me, suspensor is formed of how many cells?
Ma'am, suspensor is only one cell.
Only one cell. Just think.
Suspensor.
Suspensor is containing how many cells?
Ma'am, the zygote divides into two cells. The one
Uh,
is suspensor, one is embryo.
no,
Ma'am,
for
so
one we do not say the suspensor. Na. What is suspensor?
ma'am, uh,
How much part? Now try to recollect that how much part you call it as a suspensor. After that, globular embryo is formed to them.
ma'am, suspensor. Ma'am, that much part is called suspensor,
Uh,
in which the linear tetrad is there, and below
Just
which
one
the
cell.
globule is formed.
Correct. Now it's
Yes.
correct. One large cell
Ah,
and plus those tetrad.
yes, linear tetrad cells.
So in the linear tetrad, remember that the seven cells. Okay, and
Yes.
the last one, the eighth one will be to them forming the globular embryo.
The terminal cells forms the globular embryo.
Dividing along many planes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now next one. Next question to you from your human reproduction. Tell me when the oogenesis starts and when is it completed?
Ma'am, it starts during the embryonic stage. It starts at that stage only when the fetus is developing. It is inside the mother, and ma'am, the gamete is formed completely. I mean to say that the second maturation division, it is induced by when the sperm reaches there. So when the sperm reaches, the second maturation division completes, and the gamete is finally formed. So it ends there.
So what is the gamete?
Ovum is formed.
Ovum will be formed.
Formed.
Okay. So what are the steps involved in this oogenesis process?
Okay. Okay, ma'am. There are three phases in oogenesis process. The first one is multiplication phase. The second one is growth phase, and the third one is maturation phase.
Okay.
Ma'am, do I
So
need to?
what happens during the first maturation division?
Ma'am, ma'am, during the first maturation division, the oogonia divides and forms the primary oocyte. But at that, in the prophase one, the primary oocyte gets arrested, and then and at the age of puberty, further the number then gets decreases to 60 to 80,000 only.
Okay. Now tell me in this stage, it is haploid or diploid? After the first maturation division, it is haploid or diploid?
Ma'am, it is haploid.
It is haploid. So that is your reductional division. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, next question to you. Tell me, what are the different natural methods of controlling the pregnancy?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
What
the
are some?
first one is periodic abstinence,
Hmm?
uh, in which the couples abstain from coitus. Uh, uh, then the second is amenorrhea.
Abstinence coitus. Just clarify
Yes,
that.
yes, ma'am.
Abstain from coitus. Just
Uh,
think.
Ma'am, can I tell another one, ma'am? Then, okay. Then other one is coitus interrupts. in which the male withdraws the penis before ejaculation so that the sperms do not reaches the uterus and
Hmm.
fertilization does not take place. And also after the birth, uh, there is lactation for about 6 months, so the menstruation doesn't occurs. So at that time of the it is safe, and they can it is safe. So it is also one of the natural methods.
These are the natural methods. Okay. Okay. Now the next question from your molecular base, your inheritance one. Tell me quickly that which experiment induced or which experiment helped Mendel to give the third law?
Ma'am, he performed dihybrid cross, and after that he proposed the third law. In dihybrid cross, ma'am, do I need to explain this
Yeah.
dihybrid cross?
What is the
Uh,
diagram?
in dihybrid cross, he took two traits of one male parent and one female parent, and then he crossed them, and then after the further he crossed the F1 progenies also, and he then proposed the law that alleles segregate independently and they form recombinants,
They form
which are
recombinants.
which are not the parental types.
Okay. So what is that law called?
Ma'am, law of segregation. No, law of independent assortment. Sorry.
Ah, okay. And what is law of segregation then?
Ma'am, law of segregation in which alleles segregate during the gamete formation.
During gamete formation. Correct. Okay, good. Now, next question. Tell me what are the deviations of Mendel?
Okay, ma'am. Deviation, ma'am. First one is uh, incomplete dominance,
Uh,
and in ma'am, do I need to explain this, ma'am?
no,
Incomplete
no,
dominance.
uh,
First one is incomplete dominance, then codominance. Yes, ma'am. There are two.
codominance. What is codominance?
And codominance is in which the the two what can I say, the two traits expressing themselves simultaneously, and an example can be of ABO blood grouping.
ABO blood grouping. So, how it shows codominance?
Ma'am, 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 in ABO blood grouping there are three alleles. The first
Uh,
one is IA, IB, and IO. Yes, ma'am. So when the two alleles IA and IO is together, then the blood group will be A blood group, and so the IO is not expressing itself. Then in IB and IO, the blood group will be B blood group. Then in IA and IB, the blood group will be AB, means there are A and B antigens present. Um, then and in IO and IO, there are no antigens present, so the blood group will be O blood group. So in this, both are expressing themselves simultaneously.
okay, ठीक है. So,
Both
आपका
are
yours okay,
expressing.
okay, okay. So, yours is done now. Adit, your turn.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, Adit, the first question from your plant reproduction only. Tell me, uh, what do you mean by the jitnogamy? What do you mean by jitnogamy? So, Anjali can pick up the question and answer.
Can I? Ma'am,
Ma'am,
the fertilization of a flower by pollen from another.
हाँ, say.
Ma'am, the fertilization of a flower
हाँ,
by pollen from another flower.
another flower. So, what you mean to say by another flower? Can you clarify?
Ma'am, like ma'am, the pollen gram from another flower, not from the same flower, up to the stigma.
Ma'am, can I tell?
हाँ, just clarify.
Ma'am, geitonogamy is the pollination by the insects. Ma'am,
हाँ,
they are the insect taking the pollen grains in the flower.
that is deuterogamy.
Ma'am, of the same plant. Of this
Just think
plant.
quickly and tell me what is deuterogamy. Aditya, can you tell me it's a difference between deuterogamy and xenogamy? Deuterogamy and xenogamy. Okay, now next question.
Okay,
Huh. Answering?
is the transfer of pollen from another of one flower to the plant to the stigma of another flower of a different plant.
Another plant. Huh. So that one will be which case? Deuterogamy or
Xenogamy,
xenogamy?
xenogamy,
Huh?
xenogamy.
Xenogamy. So what you mean to say xenogamy? How many plants will be involved?
Ma'am, plant,
Huh?
plant.
Two plants. And then what is deuterogamy then?
Xenogamy, same plant. One
Okay.
plant,
Huh?
xenogamy, there is only one plant. The flowers are different.
हाँ, now it's correct. ठीक है, इसको ध्यान रखिए.
Xenogamy, different
Okay.
plant.
हाँ, so it is means genetically it is same. So genetically self pollination. ठीक है. अच्छा, कुछ जल्दी से हमको features बता सकते हैं? What are will be the features of the self pollinated flower?
But less difficult and but more difficult.
Mic just make it proper. हाँ, अभी फिर से.
Less difficult than
हाँ,
and the plant is same. The flower is same
आपकी
as
आवाज तो अच्छी आती है निशा, आज क्यों ऐसी हो रही है? हर समय तो क्लास में अच्छी आती है, बोलिए.
now.
हाँ,
The flower will be same as the parent flower
हाँ.
and same technical features.
Acha, what type of the flowers means? What are those types of the flowers called which show always the self pollination? मीन्स उनमें कभी क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन हो ही नहीं सकता. ऐसे फ्लावर्स what are they called? ठीक है, चलो अच्छा हम ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्शन पर चलते हैं. अंजलि, कैन यू टेल मी दैट?
Autogamous flower.
ऑटोगामस फ्लावर्स के फीचर्स बता दो जल्दी. ऐसा कौन सा फ्लावर्स होते हैं, विच फ्लावर्स आर देयर विच विल ऑलवेज allow only autogamy, never the cross pollination can occur? What specific feature do they have, and what are those flowers called?
Orchid,
हाँ आदित्य.
orchid, sunflower,
हाँ, all
orchid.
that we have done. भूल क्यों रहे आप लोग? चलिए ठीक है आदित्य, now a question from your human reproduction. Okay, tell me what is the structure of the sperm?
It has head, tail,
हाँ.
wings, and embryo at the top.
अच्छा, what the head contains?
Head contains the acrosome.
And पूरा स्ट्रक्चर जल्दी से डिस्क्राइब कर दो.
Head contains the acrosome and this is important because it is only goes inside the ovum
हाँ हाँ.
and need help is to travel uh,
Okay. Anjali, can you explain the structure of the sperm quickly?
Yes, ma'am. The sperm consists of a head, a tail, and a middle part, which contain mitochondria, which is the powerhouse providing energy to the sperm, and head contain the acrosome, uh, which help in the acrosome contain enzyme which help the sperm to enter into the egg, and the tail which is motile.
So head has only the acrosome.
The acrosome,
Main part you are not telling what the head has. Aditya, tell
ma'am,
me what
the,
Ma'am, nucleus
ma'am,
is
the
head.
plasma membrane and the
nucleus is there. The big nucleus is present in the head only.
nucleus.
Okay, वही तो main part है because that genetic material will only fuse with the ovum and will make the diploid zygote. Okay, ठीक है. So what type of the movement is shown by the sperms?
They are motile in nature.
Motile तो what type of movements? Okay, now just see all these things. Now next question to Aditya from your reproductive health. Now you tell me that what are the STDs?
Ma'am, STDs are the sexually transmitted diseases,
Huh?
which get transferred when the partners intercourse.
Huh? ठीक है.
To accelerate more,
Just name the common diseases.
ma'am, AIDS,
Huh?
gonorrhea,
Huh?
uh, uh, AIDS, gonorrhea, HIV,
Huh? Quickly tell me. Common names only. अच्छा, now tell me quickly
HIV,
what is
herpes, hepatitis B. Ma'am,
अच्छा,
was it clear?
what is amniocentesis? Tell me quickly what is amniocentesis.
Ma'am, amniocentesis is the sex determination of the fetus,
Hmm.
which is done by the doctor. It was banned.
अच्छा, so why is it called amniocentesis?
Because it's done by the amnio. Uh, because
अच्छा, Anjali, quickly, what is amniocentesis?
Ma'am, amniocentesis is the process of it is a diagnostic test using for determination of sex of the fetus. Amniocentesis, during this process, the fluid called amnio, ma'am, ma'am,
Hmm.
amnio something fluid which is taken up and ma'am word याद नहीं आ रहा.
हाँ,
amnio
ma'am,
amniotic fluid.
amniotic
amniotic fluid
हाँ,
fluid.
ठीक है, amniotic fluid is
take
taken. इसीलिए
is
उसको
taken.
amniocentesis बोलते हैं. तो only for
Yes,
sex determination it is used.
ma'am.
No, ma'am, it is used for many other purposes. Like it will tell us about any if there the child is suffering from any genetical diseases or
हाँ, correct. Okay. ठीक है. अब now the last two questions from your molecular, that is your inheritance laws. Okay. चलिए अब जल्दी से बोल दीजिए कि मेंडल ने कितने laws दिए थे. आदित्य, name
three:
them quickly.
law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment.
Okay. Now, which phenomenon do not follow these laws? What are those phenomena which do not follow these laws? Anjali, can you get the question?
Ma'am,
Listen.
the deviation, ma'am, the mental deviation.
Deviation,
What are they?
ma'am, incomplete dominance and co-dominant.
Codominance. Okay. What is multiple allelism?
Ma'am, multiple allelism is is the phenomenon of codominant only that was occurred in the blood grouping, ABO blood grouping.
ठीक है, okay. Now, how the grain size differs in the maize? Can you explain?
What?
Grain size differs in maize. How is it determined? Anjali.
Ma'am,
Grain size in maize.
it is also due to multiple alleles. Really.
हाँ बिल्कुल सही है, लेकिन वो कैसे होता है वही समझना है हमको। अच्छा चलिए, एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन अब दोनों के लिए बचा हुआ है, तो टेक अप दैट क्वेश्चन. You tell me what this Aditya will tell me. What is Down syndrome and what is the cause of it?
Down syndrome occurred because of the non-disjunction of the 21st chromosome.
आवाज कम आ रही है आदित्य आपकी. आपकी लेक्चर्स के समय तो बहुत अच्छी रहती थी. हाँ फिर से बोलिए एक बार. अच्छा, आई एम इंक्रीजिंग माय वॉल्यूम आल्सो.
Ma'am, Down syndrome is occurred due to the disjunction of the 21st chromosome.
हाँ अभी क्लियर है. हाँ बोलिए, आप सही है. हाँ.
And ma'am, in this the child born with some of the disorders that they have a different type of face.
अच्छा, सिम्टम्स मत बताओ, कॉज बताओ पहले तो पूरा. मेक द कॉज क्लियर. यू सेड नॉन डिसजंक्शन ऑफ
21st chromosome.
Okay, so what you mean to say by that?
Ma'am, because of the disjunction of the 21st chromosome, ma'am, 3 chromosomes. Ma'am, it is trisomy of 21st chromosome.
ठीक है, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है?
Ma'am, because three chromosomes are going in one cell.
One cell.
Ma'am,
हाँ, उसी को तो क्लैरिफाई करो.
ma'am, due to
हाँ, आपने
additional
वर्ड तो
copy
पूरी
of
सही बोल दिए. हाँ.
ma'am,
3 कैसे हो गए और 3 किस में हो गए? Trisomy is seen in which cell? Where and how?
ma'am, it was seen in the meiotic cell.
Meiotic. अच्छा, नॉन डिसजंक्शन कब हो रहा है? हाँ जल्दी बोल दीजिए. Anjali, when non-disjunction of the 21st chromosome occurs?
Ma'am, it is a autosomal recessive disorder. So the non-disjunction of 21st trisomy means the chromosome number 21 of the series will not changing the play. Ma'am, changing the place. Ma'am, दो में.
देखो यही तो क्लियर होना चाहिए, यही तो हम चाह रहे हैं समझना कि आपने पूरी बात समझी कि नहीं. आदित्य बता सकते हो कि व्हेन नॉन डिसजंक्शन ऑफ द 21st क्रोमोसोम आकर, बस इतना बता दो दोनों. व्हेन इट विल आकर.
Ma'am,
हाँ.
ma'am, if there are 2 cells.
हाँ, 2 सेल्स. कौन से 2 सेल्स?
Ma'am, mitotic cells.
माइटोटिक सेल्स. तो अगर माइटोटिक सेल्स बोले तो कहाँ के सेल्स?
Ma'am, autosomal.
ठीक है.
Ma'am,
ये देखो
3
यहाँ पर
chromosomes.
तो कंफ्यूजन है अभी भी आदित्य. And that is a big question mark there. माइटोसिस तो होगा ही नहीं. अंजलि जल्दी बताओ, अगर किसी को समझ में आ गया तो जल्दी से. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट स्टूडेंट इज मंजुल. मंजुल, कैन स्टार्ट द कैमरा एंड स्विच ऑन. And the question goes to Manjul now. The same question.
Ma'am, during first phase of meiosis.
अच्छा, तो कब होता है ये?
Ma'am, it is occurred during first phase of meiosis.
ओके, तो व्हेन दिस मियोसिस विल अकर, फॉर व्हाट प्रोसेस, कब होगा, ये किस लिए होगा?
मैं
हाँ, मियोसिस कब हो रहा है? और
मैम क्वेश्चन क्या था एक बार?
किस सेल्स में हो रहा है ये मियोसिस, ये बता दो।
मैम ये सेल्स
मैम इट्स अकरिंग इन द
हाँ,
स्पर्म
स्पर्म होगा।
स्पर्म स्पर्म और egg fails
स्पर्म और
egg fails to do this.
एग, हाँ, तो याद रखो स्पर्म में नहीं होता ये। It occurs due to the non-disjunction of 20+ chromosomes during which gamete formation? So generally it is in the case of females. It is in the case of
फीमेल।
Female.
females. चलिए ठीक है, मंजुल ने भी क्लियर नहीं किया वो बात। Remember during gamete formation. Always remember non-disjunction will
मैम
occur. हाँ, सही।
मैम गैमेट फॉर्मेशन के टाइम पे भी मियोसिस की टाइम पे होगा ना वो तो?
हाँ मैम।
मियोसिस के टाइम पर होगा, लेकिन मियोसिस कब हो रहा है तो वो आपको बताना तो पड़ेगा ना, और किस सेल्स में हो रहा है अगर हमने पूछा तो आपको बताना पड़ेगा दैट इट इज द जर्म
स्पर्म
सेल्स। जर्म
मेल
सेल्स,
जर्म सेल्स।
हाँ,
मैम जर्म
फीमेल
सेल्स
जर्म
तो मेल में
सेल्स,
होते हैं ना मैम?
female germ cells. Okay, and I have given
फीमेल
you the
जर्म
reason
सेल्स।
also कि generally during when the aged, when the reproduction occurs after a particular age, in the later ages, तो ये non disjunction का problem आता है, so it's a very rare. ठीक है, so it's done. आदित्य एक बार symptoms भी बता दीजिए।
Ma'am, symptoms include, ma'am, different type of face. They are infertile. They have heart conditions, heart diseases, and they are mentally retarded.
Okay, ठीक है आदित्य, it's done. Yours is done. You are free now. Anjali, one question to you.
यस मैम।
हाँ, वन लास्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू। टर्नर्स और क्लिनफेल्टर्स के क्रोमोसोम नंबर्स दोनों के बोल दीजिए। क्रोमोसोम
मैम
नंबर ऑफ द पर्सन हु इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम क्लिनफेल्टर syndrome and another who is suffering from Turner syndrome.
Ma'am, Turner syndrome is belong to the monosomy and the Klinefelter is belong to the trisomy. So the Klinefelter has XXY chromosome, while in the Turner syndrome it is X, X only X.
Only X.
Yes.
ठीक है, चलिए डन। मंजू, now your turn starts. So
Ma'am,
how many
question.
minutes? But it's 2:10. हाँ हाँ बोलिए अंजलि।
मैम पता आदित्य के चांस के थे ना कोई?
आपका, हाँ आपका हो गया साथ साथ। ओके, साथ साथ आपका हो गया। आपने कितना कितना क्लियर करते गए वो आपका आंसर हो गए। ओके, सो योर्स इज डन। ठीक है, नाउ मंजुल।
यस मैम।
सो मंजुल के साथ में नंदिनी कैन ऑल्सो ज्वाइन क्विकली। इट्स ऑलरेडी 11 ना, चलिए 4 मिनट में हम लोग जल्दी से कर देते हैं। नंदिनी विल ऑल्सो ज्वाइन। हाँ नंदिनी, ओके। नाउ फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम योर प्लांट रिप्रोडक्शन मंजुल। टेल मी, what do you mean by double fertilization?
Ma'am, double fertilization. Oh, yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, what was that? Ma'am, ma'am, they are, ma'am, pollen tube will transfer to two male. What was that? Two male germ cells to the cytoplasm of the nucleus, and one male cell will fused with the eggs, fused with the diploid egg and forms a diploid cell called zygote, and the
From
other
where
male,
these male cells will come?
ma'am, pollen tube.
अच्छा, it will come through the pollen tube. तो pollen
Yes, ma'am.
tube कहाँ से आया?
Ma'am, pollen tube. मैम पोलिन ट्यूब तो वहां से आया मैम, पोलिन ग्रेन्स।
Pollen grain से, ठीक है, okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
where this pollen grain was present to produce the pollen tube?
मैम, मैम पोलिन सैक।
ये पोलन ग्रेन ने कहाँ पर प्रोड्यूस की पोलन ट्यूब?
मैम वो डायग्राम आपने दिया था मैम, वो मैम
हाँ
वो
तो
ऐसे शेप करके नीचे से होता है मैम,
हमें तो
एंडोथीसियस।
पार्ट का नाम तो बोल दीजिए।
पार्ट का नाम याद नहीं आ रहा
नंदिनी, quickly.
मैम, डायग्राम अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस।
Where the pollen
मैम
grain
आगे की प्रोसेस कंटिन्यू कर दूं
produces
मैम?
the pollen tube? Nandini.
The stigma.
Stigma. ठीक है, it comes from the stigma, and then stigma
it
will
comes from the
provide the
stigma.
nourishment, and the pollen grain will germinate, producing the pollen tube. ठीक है, आप जल्दी से
मैम कैन
मतलब
आई?
हाँ, continue.
Yes ma'am. So ma'am, then the first male germ cell will fused with the egg, fuse with the diploid egg and form the diploid zygote.
Diploid egg.
No ma'am, haploid egg and form diploid cell which is zygote 2n.
Okay, correct.
And the other male germ cell will fused with the uh, fused with the
अच्छा we call
primary.
हाँ ठीक है चलिए बोल हाँ बोलिए बोलिए.
Ma'am, second germ cell will fused with the fuse with the two nucleus and form the triploid cell called primary endospermic nucleus.
Tube nucleus.
Two ma'am, first fuse with the one nucleus, then when another nucleus.
What is
Ma'am,
that?
two nuclei. What was that? Ma'am, the last product is primary endosperm nucleus, which is triploid.
तो प्राइमरी एंडोस्पर्म में फ्यूजन किस किस का हुआ जल्दी से बताओ.
Ma'am, male germ cell
हाँ.
and what was that?
Nandini, can you do that completion? How the primary endosperm cell is formed?
Primary endosperm nucleus.
Fusion of male gamete and the nuclei.
अरे तो which nuclei?
Die.
No ma'am.
जल्दी बताओ मंजू कि किससे वो सेकंड मेल गैमीट is fusing with
Ma'am,
what?
ma'am, fusing with
Nucleate.
मैंने याद किया था अच्छे से अभी मैम, वो लास्ट के चैप्टर में था लर्निंग का, तो मैं भूल गया था थोड़ा सा मैम. मैम 1n plus 2n is equal to 3n, so and the 3n was the primary endospermic nucleus.
हाँ 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 हाँ.
आपने
वो
इक्वेशंस
2n
में
वाला
लिखाया था.
बना कैसे था? वो 2n कैसे बना? Nandini, can you explain the same thing? The double fertilization.
Ma'am, double fertilization takes place when the in two ways. First, the male and female gamete fuses and forms zygote, and second, when it forms endosperm.
तो 2 ways हो गए. मतलब ये एक तरीका है वो एक तरीका है.
No, I'm sorry.
What do you mean to say by that? See, things should be very clear to you. ठीक है, plant reproduction तो leave it now. I am giving the next question from the human reproduction दोनों के लिए, because the same question was for both of you all. Okay, from now human reproduction. For Manju.
Yes ma'am.
Tell me the process of fertilization in the human beings.
Ma'am, I need to say implantation.
Huh?
Implantation process.
Fertilization.
So मैम स्टार्टिंग से बताओ, मेल और फीमेल पूरा रिप्रोडक्शन स्टेट.
No, don't tell me this picture.
Only reproduction. How reproduction occur?
No, how fertilization occur.
Oh, how fertilization. So ma'am, during copulation, the male gametes, which is a sperm, will move to the female gametes, will move through vagina, and when it move to the ampulla isthmic junction, then only the fertilization will occur. Because in ampulla isthmic junction, the ovum is already present, and when the sperm met with the fuses with the ovum, then only the fertilization will occur, and when the zygote will start forming. During zygote formation, the implantation will occur, and zygote will undergo one undergo many mitotic division
नो,
and
एम्ब्रियो
form.
डेवलपमेंट बिल्कुल नहीं पूछा, वो फ्यूजन ही हुआ, उधर क्या क्या चेंजेस आए? आई वांट टू डू ओनली द फर्टिलाइजेशन.
Ma'am, zygote will form.
जाइगोट एकदम से बन गया क्या?
No, ma'am.
न्यूक्लियस अंदर जाने के लिए मेनी चेंजेस
Nuclear,
आर.
ma'am,
आई वांट दोस चेंजेस.
ma'am, the sperm will fuses with the egg, and the plasma membrane, and in the sperm the head contain acrosome. In acrosome there is an enzyme called lysin, which penetrates the wall of the egg, and it fuses with the
व्हाट
egg.
इज दैट वॉल?
Ma'am, egg
And
wall,
नो नो नो.
endometrium wall. Ma'am, endometrium wall is present in the female. It is not that. What was that?
Nandini, can you do that correction? Tell me the same.
yes, ma'am.
Tell me the same thing. How the fertilization takes place in the human beings.
Ma'am, when the fusion of male and female gametes takes place in the fallopian tube in zona pellucida.
Hmm?
Ma'am, fallopian tube,
अरे हाँ
Hmm.
मैम, zona pellucida.
and zona pellucida, and it forms the uh, fluid in the forms acrosome.
Ma'am, can I?
हाँ, बोलिए मंजर. देखो,
So
बिल्कुल
ma'am,
क्लियरली एक के बाद प्रोसेस पढ़ना चाहिए. दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट.
yes ma'am, yes ma'am. So
Isn't
ma'am,
it? Process is continuous.
ma'am sperm,
वन बाय वन चेंजेस
ma'am,
आते हैं.
ma'am
अच्छा, ठीक है.
sperm,
जाइगोट बन गया.
hmm,
ठीक है. अब उसके बाद में जाइगोट बनने के बाद क्या होना है? जल्दी से बता दो फर्दर.
ma'am, zygote will undergo several mitotic division 2, 4, 8, 16, and form blastomere. ठीक है. Then the blastomere will form 8, ma'am, 8 and 16 blastomere will form merula. Uh, and then the merula will form. After merula will continues to divide and form blastocyst. In blastocyst, in blastocyst, there blastocyst, the upper wall is trophoblast, and the divided into two. The inner layer is inner cell mass, and the upper layer is trophoblast. In endometrium wall, the trophoblast will lie down on the surface of the endometrium wall, and the inner cell mass will differentiate into endometrium. Differentiate में वो अंदर एकदम हो जाता है. And then the inner cell mass has stem cells which has a potential to produce all the organism, cell and tissue in a female.
तो अभी ब्लास्टोसिस्ट कहाँ है?
Ma'am, in blastocyst the ma'am एक
Where
मिनट
is this
एक मिनट
blastocyst present now?
ma'am, in endometrium wall. No ma'am, no ma'am.
एंडोमेट्रियम. एंडोमेट्रियम वॉल कहाँ है?
मैम endometrium wall तो endometrium wall कहाँ पर था? मैम यूट्रस.
यूटरस में. ठीक है, मतलब ब्लास्टोसिस्ट यूटरस में पहुंच गया है.
हाँ मैम.
अच्छा, ठीक है. ओके, करेक्ट. नाउ जैसे ही वहां एंडोमेट्रियम का क्या रोल है? फर्दर क्या हो रहा है ब्लास्टोसिस्ट का?
Ma'am, in endometrium, the inner cell mass will differentiate and start forming the organ, tissue, and cells of the new
But what process will occur? What process will occur as the blastocyst reaches the uterus?
processes. You mean to say processes?
अरे मतलब क्या होगा जैसे ब्लास्टोसिस्ट यूटरस में पहुंचेगा तो सबसे पहले क्या होना है?
मैम, जो ट्रोफोब्लास्ट होता है वो एंडोमेट्रियम वॉल के ऊपर स्प्रेड हो जाएगा और इनर सेल में अंदर डिफरेंशिएट हो जाएगा. उसके बाद
वो
में
स्प्रेड हो गया तो उसको क्या बोलते हैं? स्प्रेड होके क्या हो रहा है?
मैम हाँ वो तो
नंदिनी, क्या हो रहा है? ब्लास्टोसिस्ट यूटरस में पहुंच गया, फिर क्या होना है सबसे पहले?
मैम कैविटी फॉर्म, मैम फ्लूइड फॉर्म होता है ना मैम.
कहाँ फ्लूइड फॉर्म हो रहा है? ब्लास्टोसिस्ट पहुंच गया यूट्रस में, फिर सबसे पहले क्या होना है? पूनम जल्दी से आंसर दे सकते हो क्या? पूनम,
यस मैम। मैम यस मैम, एक बार क्वेश्चन फिर से।
माय क्वेश्चन इज कि जैसे ही ब्लास्टोसिस्ट यूट्रस में पहुंचेगा तो क्या होगा?
मैम जैसे ब्लास्टोसिस्ट मैम सबसे
मैम
पहले तो
थ्री लेयर विल फॉर्म मैम थ्री लेयर विल फॉर्म
हाँ,
इट विल फॉर्म थ्री लेयर।
अच्छा ऐसे बन जाएगा, पहले ही
नहीं
बन
मैम, थ्री
जाएगा?
लेयर तो मैम इनर सेल मास में बनता है फिर।
मैम
सॉरी मैम।
ट्रोपोप्लास्ट
नहीं
और
वो प्रोसेस कोई
एम्ब्रियो
यस मैम।
मैम मैम ट्रोपोब्लास्ट और एम्ब्रियोब्लास्ट का फॉर्मेशन होगा, प्लांटेशन प्लांट।
ब्लास्टोसिस्ट, लेकिन ब्लास्टोसिस्ट हाँ पहले क्या होना है? सबसे पहले आपने बोल दिया।
मैम सबसे पहले यस मैम मैम फर्स्ट देयर विल बी डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ ट्रोपोब्लास्ट एंड द एम्ब्रियोब्लास्ट एज द मैम मैम दैट ब्लास्टोसिस्ट इज अ हॉलो।
नहीं वो आपने टर्म बोल दिया अभी, लेकिन यू आर नॉट क्लेरिफाइंग इट।
मैम इम्प्लांटेशन।
एम्ब्रियोब्लास्ट
इम्प्लांटेशन, ये बोलना ही है आपको।
इम्प्लांटेशन।
ये तो सबसे अच्छी बात।
मैम वही तो मैम इम्प्लांटेशन तो मैम एक्सप्लेन किया मैम।
स्प्रेड हो गया, स्प्रेड हो गया तो कहाँ स्प्रेड हो गया? एंडोमेट्रियम में स्प्रेड हो गया, वो क्या प्रोसेस हो गया? यू हैव टू से इट
इम्प्लांटेशन।
गेट्स इम्प्लांटेड, इट गेट्स
इम्प्लांटेड।
हाँ, जब तक इम्प्लांटेशन नहीं होगा आगे कुछ नहीं होगा, क्योंकि जब तक इम्प्लांटेशन नहीं बोलोगे आप, जब तक प्लासेंटा फॉर्मेशन नहीं बताओगे, आगे का डेवलपमेंट कुछ नहीं होगा, क्योंकि नरिशमेंट तो उससे ही जाना है।
नरिशमेंट।
आर यू गेटिंग? तो जैसे ही
यस मैम।
ब्लास्टोसिस वहां पहुंचना है यूट्रस में, उसको इम्प्लांट होना है एंडोमेट्रियम में, वो इम्प्लांट होगा, इट विल गेट एम्बेडेड इन द एंडोमेट्रियम। इज इट क्लियर? देखो चीजों को
यस
बहुत
मैम।
अच्छे से पढ़ना है, आपका ये वाला क्वेश्चन भी कंप्लीट हो जाता है। सो पूरम आई कंटिन्यू नेक्स्ट पीरियड। मंजुल आपके लिए एक क्वेश्चन जल्दी से रिप्रोडक्शन से बोलिए, व्हाट इज आईवीएफ?
मैम इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन।
ओके, व्हेन डज इट अकर, और कब किया जाता है, क्यों किया जाता है?
मैम इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन आल्सो नोन एज टेस्ट ट्यूब in general way we can say it is test tube. So in vitro fertilization we get male gametes from donor or from husband, and female gametes from female or from her wife, and why and we fuse all these two gametes in the laboratory by expert, and forming a zygote and implanting a zygote into the uterus.
ओके नंदिनी, जल्दी से आप बोल दीजिए कि व्हाट आर द टू प्रोसेसेस व्हिच आर फॉलोड बाय द मींस व्हिच आर opted after the IVF?
After IVF,
जल्दी बोल दीजिए, आफ्टर IVF then what is done? There are two methods which are opted, क्योंकि जाइगोट तो बन गया टेस्ट ट्यूब में, so we call it as a test tube baby. Then after that what? मंजुल कंप्लीट कर दो तो।
मैम आईवीएफ इज मैम आईवीएफ के बाद के दो प्रोसेस, तो
एम्ब्रियो डेवलपमेंट।
हाँ एम्ब्रियो डेवलपमेंट तो होना है, लेकिन अब वो कहाँ होगा, कैसे होगा, कब होगा?
मैम जो मैम इन विट्रो जाइगोट में क्या होता है
मैम जिफ्ट भी होगा।
जिफ्ट होगा, ठीक है, व्हाट इज
मैम?
दैट?
मैम जाइगोट इंट्रा फैलोपियन ट्रांसफर।
ठीक है, और एक तो हो गया जाइगोट, जिफ्ट हो गया, और दूसरा एक और क्या? जल्दी जल्दी बोलो, इतना टाइम लगाएंगे तो कैसे रैपिड फायर हुआ? रैपिड फायर मीans rapid fire.
Ma'am,
This
intrauterine transfer.
has done very nicely. It was
Ma'am,
a very rapid
intrauterine
fire.
fiber.
Huh?
Intrauterine transfer. IUT.
What do you mean to say by that?
Intrauterine transfer. The first one
Intrauterine
is
transfer. So what
zip.
when the zift is done and when the second one what you named is done?
Ma'am, intrauterine
दोनों में
transfer.
डिफरेंस बता दो जल्दी से.
Ma'am, in zipped, ma'am, what was zipped?
Ma'am, during the zygote formation, it takes place.
You're
Ma'am,
not clarifying
we will,
this.
ma'am, transfer of zygote on the early embryonic stage till
Hmm.
8 blastomere.
So
And
where it will be done?
ma'am, it will be done, ma'am, it will be done in the laboratory and it will transfer to the fallopian tube.
अच्छा ठीक है. And what will be done in the second case?
IUT.
हाँ
IUT. You mean to say IUT? So, ma'am,
हाँ.
in IUT,
Don't see there.
ma'am, IUT. मैम IUT में भी 8 होते हैं.
अच्छा.
मैम यूट्रस में वो हो जाते हैं. IUT हैव 8 ब्लास्टोमिया एंड इट विल ट्रांसफर टू द यूट्रस. मैम
अच्छा.
मुझे अच्छे से याद नहीं है पर मैंने पढ़ा था.
तो दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या हुआ फिर?
मैम एक फैलोपियन ट्यूब में होते हैं, एक यूट्रस में होते हैं.
अच्छा चलिए ठीक है. ओके, कुछ चीजों को समझना पड़ेगा आपको, फिर से पढ़ना
मैम
भी.
वो
एग्जाम
मैम
के
पढ़ा
बाद
नहीं मैम
दोनों को
वो.
अच्छे से पढ़ लीजिए. अच्छा, लास्ट के 2 क्वेश्चन हम और पूछ लेते हैं दोनों से, फिर अपना आप दोनों का भी फिनिश हो जाएगा. Why to take it to the other day? Now the question from your molecule, that your laws of inheritance. What is linkage and crossing over?
मैम मेरे लिए है.
हाँ.
मैम द क्रॉसिंग ओवर इज अ process in which two male gametes will crossing over each other and form a chiasmata, which is a offspring. And linkage, मैम लिंकेज एंड रिकॉम्बिनेंस आपने पढ़ाया था मैम. मैम लिंकेज की डेफिनेशन भूल गया मैं.
Nandini, same question goes to you.
Mama.
मैम ये लॉकडाउन में याद करने की थोड़ा
अच्छा,
प्रॉब्लम
so
हो रही
now
थी.
one last question to Manjul.
यस मैम.
Okay, that what are the different types of sex determination?
Sex determination. Okay, ma'am. XY type in human as well as Drosophila melanogaster.
Okay.
And exotype in grasshopper and WZ type in hen fish and hen and fish. One is
Okay,
ma'am,
Manjul.
yes ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So what is that ZW type? उसको जल्दी से explain कर दो मंजुल.
ma'am, in ZW type, the ZW are the if the chromosomes are ZW, then the sex of the organism is female, and the if the chromosomes are WW, then sex of the organism is male.
अच्छा ठीक है. So Manjul, yours is done. Nandini, tell me how the sex is determined in honeybees.
Ma'am, in honeybees, it is determined by ma'am, it is X linked. Ma'am, if it is X, then it is a male, and if it is XX, it is a female.
Okay. What is the cause of the hemophilia?
Ma'am, it stops the clotting
What is the cause
of
of
the
that?
blood.
What is the cause of it?
Ma'am, its cause. Ma'am, hemophilia cause.
What type of a disease it is?
Ma'am, it is a Mendelian disease. Ma'am, genetic disorder.
What type? Specific.
Recessive. Ma'am,
sex linked recessive.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Okay. So why does it occur?
Ma'am, it occurs because of in DNA. Ma'am, in DNA.
Okay, चलिए तो हो गया. Now 4 students are remaining. That is Poonam, Pranjal, Shifai, Yuvesh. So I'll take up now on Wednesday. So we'll do Shanti Path.